Thoughts are the language of the mind. Emotions are the language of the body. So listen to that. It's just your body talking to you. That's all it is. And if you can learn exactly how you did, or you can learn how to use those emotions towards something and put it into action, they'll understand there's no bad or good emotions, believe it or not. It's just what we make them.
Remember, there's always somebody working 10 times harder than you.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a golden apple, right? It's there on the mountain. There's 10 million people trying to get to that same goal, you know, and if you don't do it, somebody else will. You know, and you don't understand, like, it is a lonely road to the top, because the higher you get, the less oxygen you have, and the less people are going to want to be there with you.
That same coach that was only there 1 year, Coach Baker, man, an amazing coach, man. He played for the Chiefs, and before that, he played D1 ball. Great coach. He related a lot to me. Like, he sat me down. He's like, "Hey, man, like, you're flying off the panhandle. Like, you're erratic." He slid me the Serenity Prayer. There's a reason why it's on my chest. He goes, every time you want to fight somebody, every time, like, I was getting in trouble with school, I almost got expelled, like, I was doing bad. And he goes, every time you feel like that and you can't control yourself, read this over and over again. If this prayer does not get you there, jump that fence, bring your cleats with you, and run until you forgot what you were mad about. And let me tell you, South Miami Field, I would jump the fence and I would run sprints in the dark. Without further ado, why don't you introduce yourself?
My name is Manny. Right now, I'm a business owner. I work on personal training specifically right now, even though I'm going to be opening my own private gym very soon. Nice. So right now, I'm just working out of a private small gym and focusing about 15 to 20 clients that I focus on from Monday to Friday.
Nice.
And that's what I'm doing right now.
Nice. Cool, man.
Yeah, love it.
All right. So let's start with, so where are you from, Manny?
I'm Dominican.
Dominican, okay.
Republic. Yes, sir.
DR, PR, Miami.
DR, Miami. Yes, sir.
Nice,
Caribbean.
Nice. Cool, bro. Island boy.
Island boy.
So talk to me, man. So once you got to were you playing sports as you were bouncing from place to place? All right. So what was your first sport?
My first sport was baseball.
Just like any Hispanic, right?
Yeah. You're born with the bat. As soon as you come out, like, here you go.
Here you go.
Like, all right. So I played baseball, you know, when I was young until about, it was like 8 or 9. And then I picked up a football and started playing football. And
was it a wrap after that?
It was a wrap. I let go of that bat and never picked it up. And thankfully I was able to pick up, you know, high school football, college, and flag football recreational was fun, man. And you know how that flag football world is.
Of course, we'll definitely get into that.
Yeah,
for sure. So did you play flag football first and then go into tackle, or did you play like pee-wee tackle as soon as you picked up a football?
Never even played pee-wee tackle, man.
Oh, no. Okay.
My mom was like, absolutely.
Bro, me too.
And no, she was like, no chance. I was like, dang. So actually, the first thing I did was my 9th grade year in high school, I forged my mom's signature.
You're like, I'm playing football one way or another.
Totally did. And I told her recently, she's like, yeah. I was like, yeah. How do you think I did it? She's like,
right.
That was your dad. You know, I was like, no, I did not forge.
Yeah, that was me.
So I started with that. I started playing, you know, just neighborhood.
Yeah.
Playing tackle with the friends and doing all that stuff. And we really played every sport. I mean, it's just seasonal, you know, whatever it was. If it was baseball, maybe we would play stickball, soccer. We played street hockey. I mean, everything you could think of. I mean, I pretty much played when I was younger, but football always stuck with me.
Yeah.
And high school was my passion. Really, I fell in love with it, and man, I loved it. I picked up weight training in like 10th, 11th grade, and ever since then, you know, it's just my body.
It all came together.
The mental, and then I picked up flag football. We gonna get to flag football now?
Yeah, sure. Okay. Of course. Yeah.
Flag football. I picked it up. Let me see. I was 17, 16, somewhere around there. My brother is 5 years older than I am. So he was just a little, about 22, maybe something like that. And we were playing on the Saturdays. It was just 1 day a week back then.
Was that SFSO or is that a different league?
You know, before that.
Oh,
it was called Champion Sport League.
Champion Sport. Okay.
Actually, there was 2. There's Champions. And then there was called Fast Action Sport Leagues that had.
I heard of Fast Action. Okay.
So the Champions just had like kind of like the let it fly, air it out rules. That was just no pitches, just boom, no returns. It was just simple. Fast Action had the throwbacks. It was a little wilder, you know, the fun one.
Of course.
So I started playing that with my brother on Saturdays and his friends. And my brother, just after a while, I don't know if he just didn't like it or whatnot, he moved on and I stayed playing.
You were in love.
I fell in love. Yeah, man. It was a lot of fun. And it just became more and more addicting because, you know, the better you got at it, of course, you started doing things you
why let off the gas
about.
pedal. Yeah.
Right. And then I started traveling. That was a lot of fun because, you know, it's the first time I traveled. It was in Naples. We had a tournament. As a matter of fact, right here. I'm trying to remember where it was. Was this one? This cut right here was from like a gash that I ran a slant. The guy's tooth just went right there. And I remember just being in the rain like this and bleeding. I had to go to the hospital and get glues and all that stuff.
I've
So
been
that was
there.
the first trip right there. The first trip ever since. And that's it, man. I just love flag football. It stayed with me my whole life. Even when I went to college afterwards, it was still there. You know, it was always a passion for that. It's a lot of fun.
So in high school, you were double dipping between
Oh, yeah.
tackle football and flag.
Yeah,
Did you play other sports around the year in high school, or you just focused on football?
No, just on football at that time.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay.
It was just the main two things. And,
Cool.
and honestly, I think flag football, and I get asked this question all the time, it's what benefits did I get out of flag football that transferred over to tackle?
Mm.
Man,
Great question.
So many things. One of them was my quickness.
Or have to.
Like if people couldn't touch my flag, they couldn't touch me.
Right.
So it was like when I would go play tackle football with my high school friends, you kidding me? They couldn't tackle me.
Of course.
It wasn't even close. They
Yeah.
were ripping my shirt, so I had to take my shirt off so
Yeah.
they couldn't tackle you. So playing tackle flag football, there was a lot of things that correlated well into tackle football. My footwork, you know, my route running was crazy, you know, so many things that I can see why a lot of kids now play flag football and they like off season.
Yep.
And then they transfer it over
Yep.
to tackle football.
I've actually had some, I'll say heated debates. I don't like saying arguments with tackle coaches that some can be very narrow minded. They're like, flag football is inferior. I'm like, it's not about it being inferior or
Different
superior.
sport.
It's just how does it help you with your main craft?
Mhm.
Quickness can help anybody in any sport.
Anything.
So when you shrink a field, of course that's going to help you on the tackle football field. You know, you go from 100 yards, 50 width to a little tiny 25 by 50
You
or
better be fast.
exactly,
Better
you
be
know,
quick, yeah.
so
even your thinking too is like pop, pop,
everything. And then you get back to tackle, and correct me if I'm wrong, you're like, this is slow.
Oh yeah.
Like you're at safety. Oh, actually,
Which is
let's get into
phenomenal.
that. So what did
Yeah.
you play in tackle? We didn't talk about that.
Yeah,
yet.
yeah. So in tackle, I played receiver and I also played safety.
Nice.
So that was a big one that, like you're saying, the game slowed down so much. Like,
Easy.
I would see it, and it's like almost like I was playing Madden. Like you're back there, and you're just like, boom. All right, you see in the guard pool, you're going to a run. It's going to be a pass. That's all going through in like a second.
Yeah.
So you see all that happening in that moment, and it definitely helped a lot from flag football, man.
Yeah.
And just to back a little bit off, piggyback of what you're saying about tackle and flag, they're two different sports, man.
Yeah.
They're the same because we got the football and we got cleats on and we're playing on the field, but it's two different sports.
Different
That's why a lot
animals,
of
yeah.
times, even now, you can see these guys that play in the AFFL and you bring these pro guys into this. It's like, it's two different games.
Mhm.
I mean, just the foundation, the basics of it, flag pulling, that alone is
Yeah.
the whole skill. I had one of the guys from, I can't remember his name. He's at the director now of USA Football.
Nice.
And we were talking about, he's like, Manny, you know, I'm having an issue with, I don't know which way to head. I don't know if to start bringing in college guys and then train them into flag football, or I should get some of these flag football guys and try to
Mold them, kinda?
kind of like better their skills.
Mhm.
Because I get like a lot of us, most of we just start up recreationally, right? We're
Right.
not pros. We're not so focused on it. It's just kind of like weekend stuff. Yeah. And a lot of
Right.
us
It's like a
might
little
be out of
side
shape.
thing.
Right. So that's where he was like, man, I'm not seeing like this pro caliber talent, even though there's a couple guys. I mean, there's a bunch of guys in the team that played, D1, D2 football,
Right.
So many guys. And we went into like a little talk, not debate. We didn't even argue. I was like, look, man, I think for now, as skills are developing from a lot of these younger guys, that flag football is becoming more popular. And all these kids are playing from 7 years old. By the time they get to, the Olympics potentially in 2028.
Hopefully, fingers
Oh my
crossed.
gosh, right? Yeah, no, that'd be amazing. Those kids, their skill level is going to be at the pro level
Yeah.
because they've been doing it for 13,
They're
14
gonna be polished.
years.
Yeah.
So I told them, like, right now, you're better off just going with what you got and develop their skills, their speed, their fundamentals.
Mhm.
Because I was actually applying I did get the job, but
Yeah.
to be a personal trainer for them. I was going to be
Nice.
the strength and conditioning coach. COVID stuff kind of kept me out of it.
That messed everybody
It
up,
totally,
man.
yeah, threw me out of the loop. But anyways, so I was telling him, I was like, yeah, let's focus on the guys we have, develop their skills, speed, strength, help them with the diet plan.
I think that was the
whatever
right
it might be.
advice, because if you try to
Thought
get
it
tackle
was.
guys, and you
Flag
and I,
football, man.
you and I know more than most that from tackle to flag, a lot of people have like this arrogance, if you will, like, oh, these guys are beneath me because I was
Mhm.
playing tackle at this level. But
Yeah.
you get out there, you're like, bah, 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 bah. You're like, the play's gone. You're like, oh
Humble
my God.
quick.
Yeah, you get humble real. I used to be like that. I'm like,
Yeah.
these guys suck.
Yeah.
Then you get out there, you're like, yo, this guy
Yeah.
just blew right past me.
Yeah.
I was like, and I can't touch
Oh,
him.
yeah. Yeah.
And I can't be physical with it. I'm like,
Right,
oh
right.
man, I need to humble myself. I need to
man.
respect this, you know?
100%.
And I still see it now. They're young.
So
It happens.
many times, man. So many times playing with MOB and Rick and all these guys.
Yeah.
Man, we play air it out. And, you know, every year it's like you get a set of college kids coming in from
Mhm.
UN.
Like physical freaks.
big old guys looking great. And they're like, oh, you know, playing around thinking they're playing. Like, you know, they say me, Rupert, and some of
Yeah.
these guys are not the most, you know, best
Right.
looking guys.
They don't
I guess.
pass the eye test, but you guys are ballers.
Man, we
Yeah.
blew them out like 50-something to 0. They're like, man, they would shake our hands. Yo, y'all just destroyed us. I'm like, man, it's a different game. It's a different
You
skill
shrunk
set.
their egos.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. It happened all the time, man, which I love because, you know, they're great at what they do, but
Yeah.
we're great at what we do too,
Yeah.
you know? So I developed a lot of that.
So what high school did you go to? We didn't say that. We
I
didn't
went to
mention-
Killian, to Miami.
Killian. Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I went to South Miami. So we played them like first game
right.
every year. And I'll never forget it because they had Lamar Miller at the time.
That's
so he
right.
was a baller, bro.
Yeah.
Killian, for some reason, I don't know if it's the coaching staff or just the culture, they make a lot of great running backs, huh?
I do. Yeah.
I see a lot of great running backs come out of Killian.
Yeah. The year right before I graduated in 2002.
Okay.
We edit that, right?
We get it. 2002.
I graduated 2013. And man, that year that I was there, that very next year, they brought up Billy Rowe. He was
Okay.
the coach of Northwestern.
Nice. Northwestern, that's a great
They were
program.
beast at that time. They still are, right?
Yeah.
So he came over and sure thing that very next year they won states.
Yeah, that's not a
And man,
coincidence.
that's when like you just see the development. It's just so different. You know,
Yeah.
it's having a program I think is very important. You know, so if you just have somebody that's like, hey, I'm turning into a coach and you bring them in, they don't
Yeah.
have a system that's proven. And he had a proven system. And yeah, like all those running backs that came out of Killing,
And
man.
it's something that was embedded to this day,
Amazing.
I would say.
Yeah. Oh yeah, still there for sure.
So at Killian, so let me change the pace a little bit. So education wise, did you find like did you have a good GPA? Were you making it happen because of sports, or
Yeah.
like what was your take
Yeah,
on
definitely. He was
education?
making it happen because of sports.
Because-
yeah. I don't think I really dialed in until it was probably my second year of college,
Gotcha.
believe it or not.
No, I do believe it.
It's-
Same
yeah,
here.
I think I just matured, and ever since then, it was like, man, I just was honed in. I couldn't have anything less than an A. I would get mad if I got something,
Nice.
you know, even though, you know, you're learning there, that's the whole purpose. But man, like it took me a while. It took me a while to dial in for sure. I think that's natural of us, man. We don't mature until we're like 27 or so.
Right.
Women dial in a little earlier. But yeah, definitely it was just squeaking by like 2.1, 2.2.
Same, bro.
Kinda, yeah, it was tough.
I was barely in class in high school, and then as I've mentioned in some episodes previously, I had to learn how to be a student in college. Like, was that the case for you? Like, as far as like book stuff, how to write papers, like
Yes.
little details that like get overlooked, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. That's something exactly like you said. It's just something you learn. It's so hard, you know, because there's you're never ending. You know, especially when you're an athlete, you're watching film,
Yep.
or you're working out, or you're studying. So your sleep is very like limited. Really, it's just a little bit of sleep.
Yep.
A nap may be there, but you're constantly, you know, your schedule's full.
Yeah.
And if you structure it correctly, you could definitely get a good benefit. But it's a lot of times I see that, man, people are just they don't have any structure. They're just like, oh man, I got to get up, and they're like, oh, when am I going to study? Oh man, I only got time. But you got to set it.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to get those things done. So
Yeah.
it took me a while. Yeah.
Guys, that's a great topic. Manny just covered, man. Like, don't wait until your back's up against the wall to understand time management. Like Manny just said, you can't float around with your time. Maybe some of your friends that don't play sports can afford to do that because after school, when 2:30 hits, they have all these hours. But if you play a sport, you got practice. You might have a lift as well. So like Manny said, by the time you get home, you're tired. You need to shower and eat, and then you gotta mentally lock in. You know, so definitely try to manage your time better. You know, like what helps me is I have a whiteboard at home. And I structure my time that way. Like, look, these are the things I need to get done like right away. These are like maybe a week or two away, and try to organize your time. Because for me, is like you said, in college, what messed me up is I didn't know when tests were. I didn't know when stuff was due. That's half the battle. Just knowing what date things are due is half the battle. You'd be surprised. I'm not the smartest guy, but you'd be surprised. Like if you just know when something's due, you're like, oh my God, that's tomorrow.
Yeah,
You're like, oh my God, I
yeah.
got to do this. Cause I'll go to class and oh my God, I did it. I'm like, what excuse am I going to make up? What grandma am I going to kill
Yeah,
because I
yeah.
didn't write my paper?
Yeah. Until you get tired of that, man. I think I think that's natural. I think we all do that.
Yeah.
Until there's one day just like, man, I'm tired of
I got to tighten up.
this result. So it's just ultimately, that's a great, great tip for the kids. It's good to start. One thing that I learned in my mid-20s was that. And
Yeah.
that was probably the best thing I learned. It was to definitely, you got to structure yourself. If not, you're just letting things randomly happen.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good.
Yeah.
You got to schedule your lift, everything. I mean, if you think about it, everything that happens in a day, we're similar to like driving a car. If you don't have a destination or a purpose, you're just going to drive around. It's the
Mhm.
same thing. Most people just, man, their days just go by randomly and they're hoping that it changes or something randomly changes to make them feel good. But when you
That's a
set
great
things-
analogy. Yeah.
when there's some things that like you're saying, like when you have those things done, and then it might could be a full list of things. By the time you're done, man, that feeling you get at the end of the day when you're like, yo, I busted my ass today. Man, there's nothing like that. I still to this day do exactly the same thing.
Same.
That's a great skill to do. I mean, whatever my phone is, I have a list of things. What I do is I usually put some things, especially like for my business, either for my fitness business or my wife's salon business. We have a list of things to do. And man, I check them off. And yeah, I might not check them off in one day, but I promise you those top ones.
At least you're aware.
Yeah, exactly.
It's in the back of your mind, like tickling you, like, hey, you didn't do this today. You gotta figure it out.
Yeah, to-do list is huge, man. Good
man.
point.
And then so let's go to your senior year, right? So what, or junior or senior year? So what was your mindset? Did you want to play college or was it no?
I'm sorry. Did I want to play go to like the pros? Is that what you're saying? Like go pro?
Yeah, no, just college. Like so from high school.
Sorry, high school.
Did you want to play college, or you were like, no, I want to play flag for money, or like what was your mindset? You're like, what were you thinking?
Yeah. So there was I was working with one of my friends that he played quarterback in Buffalo, University of Buffalo, and I actually had put some film together for the University of Buffalo, and I chickened out.
What?
Biggest regret of my life right there.
How come?
I was listening to people. Listening to people that I probably shouldn't have been listening to. I had a girlfriend at that time too, I was with for like a year. I'm like, oh man, we're together and it's too cold up there, you're not gonna like it. And man, I was like, damn, man, I actually got a scholarship offer and just like to turn it down, man. To this day, I'm like, God, I wonder what would have happened.
I have a few friends, man, that they were with a girlfriend at the time, and some of these girlfriends gave them either an ultimatum or they weren't as direct about it, but they were like passively aggressively.
That's what happened to me.
Turning them down, dimming their light. And I hate that, man. Like
Terrible.
If somebody really wants what's best for you, we already, I've mentioned it before, guys, like you're already going to be negative towards yourself. It's just our natural instinct. When something is the unknown, you're like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. So surrounding yourself with the right people to encourage you and lift you up when you doubt yourself, you're like, you know what? You're right. I need to snap out of this. I need to send my film to Buffalo. The worst I can get is a no, whatever.
Right.
And then that sucks that some people just influence you in a negative way. So, but at a young age, you're so fragile. Not fragile. That's not the right word.
17,
It's very easy to deter you the wrong way.
Yeah. And they did. And unfortunately they did.
Yeah,
and
man. I see that
two
often.
pains in life, right? There's the pain of regret and the pain of discipline.
Yeah.
And that's the regret. I feel it, man. Even to this day, man, I'm 38 now. And you think about it, that was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And to this day, I'm like, damn, what if?
Right.
But that was the only time that I would say I probably was like, you know what? Let me go to college.
Yeah.
And then it kind of just faded away. I had an opportunity later on. I got to have a scholarship to go play football in California.
Let's talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's when I was like, you know what? I had that regret. I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and take it this time. And I did. I was like, you know what? I'm leaving it behind. I don't care who was with. I don't even remember if I had a girlfriend at that time.
Yeah. You're like, it's going to happen.
It's going like, I'm not going to let this happen again, this opportunity. And I did. And that was fantastic, man. What a great memory. I'm just sure just like, you remember all those memories, the traveling and being in the locker room.
So where'd you go, man? Where'd you go in Cali?
I went to Yuba University, Yuba College up in just north of Sacramento, about maybe 40 minutes north of Sac.
NorCal, okay.
NorCal, yeah, man, beautiful.
Coast to coast,
beautiful. Huh? Yeah, coast to coast.
Was that the first time you left home?
Yes.
Ooh, so how was that? How was that culture shock? How was with your mom and stuff? The Hispanic moms? No, no te vaya mi papi.
Right. It's just that time. It was for sure. Even to this day, my mom, why are you moving to over there? Because I lived in California again for a little bit. It's the same, but it was just at that moment. I think that opportunity of Buffalo kind of was still in the back of my mind. I was like, you know what? No, I'm going. Like, this is ultimately my life. Like, I get what you're doing. You're protecting me. You want to protect me.
Right.
Ultimately, I think when you try to keep your kids in a bubble, that's not protecting them, man. You're actually hurting them. So I just, at that time, ever since then, it's just, I made that choice, that conscious choice of just like, I'm going to make the decisions that are best for me, and obviously if I'm not hurting anybody else, then it's all good.
That was really mature of you, man. And how old were you when you decided to take that California opportunity?
Let me see. That was 21.
Okay.
So it was a couple years later. So maybe it was like 2 or 3 years later.
Cool, man. All right. And then did you get your AA? Did you get your bachelor's?
I did, yeah.
Nice, man. So you got to get your education?
Yeah, and then I came back home, finished here.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, man. That's
fantastic.
what's up.
That was a great experience, man. Nothing like that.
I bet, bro. And then especially like, correct me if I'm wrong, when you have to leave, you don't realize how much you depend on whoever you lived with in your house until you're out on your own. You're like, man, ramen noodles can only get me so far. You know, like I got to get like some chicken, some meat, scrambled eggs. I have to change this up,
Yep. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that definitely helped me out. That's when I realized why my parents made me do a lot of things when I was younger, right? I'm sure
It all
it probably
makes
happened
sense.
to you. Like, man, oh, okay, this is why my mom had me do the dishes. I get it now. Oh, this is why she would, have me cook certain dinners and stuff like that. Yeah, because when I got there, I was a little bit more mature than some of the guys. I mean, there were some of the guys that were still 18, 19. So they were relative in the same age. But it's like, I was like, kind of like the one that was like, hey, I'll cook, y'all clean, or vice versa,
Right.
and we kind of had a little structure to that. But definitely, yeah, I could see, where those disciplines as a kid came off beneficial.
And also another thing, guys, like going back to the time management thing, even in high school, people are holding your hand a little bit more as an athlete, student athlete. But when you get to college, there's not hand holding. Like you're expected to be at practice, at lifts, at class a certain time. And nobody's on you like, hey, did you do your homework? Or, hey, did you write this paper? So if you're not managing your time in high school, going to college, when you go to college, all this freedom can be a bad thing if you're not disciplined, like how you were mentioning earlier. So, just
I'm big on this.
something as simple as organizing, like who cleans the house or who does these things. If nobody says anything, the house will be dirty. No homework will get done. And your life is a mess.
Without discipline, you have nothing, man. That's literally on everything in life.
I swear.
Everything, man. That's the best thing I ever learned when I was young is discipline. Thankfully, my dad was military. So it's like there was a lot of discipline since I was young. Hey, everything's this way, whether you feel like it or not.
Yeah.
Feelings is just your body talking to you, So it's like, all right, ignore that. It's what's up here, man. If not, your body controls you.
Wow.
So that's why I'm big on discipline. You get up no matter what.
Yeah.
If I can throw in my 2 cents.
Oh, hey.
Of course.
Yes,
hey,
Blue.
welcome.
Hello.
Something that I have found has helped me out in college is don't be afraid to ask stupid questions.
No such thing.
And I am the one, I tell them all the time, I ask stupid questions. And when the teacher asked who was struggling, the whole class raises their hand. And it's like, come on, why am I the only one that's speaking up?
Yeah.
To you, it might be stupid, or to the teacher, but to me, I don't know.
Yeah.
And so many times, like the whole class is like, thank God you asked. And I was like, you can't be afraid to ask stupid questions. Stupid questions are not stupid because, believe it or not, 90% of the people around you do not know the answer to it.
Yeah.
They're just afraid to sound stupid. So don't be afraid to ask stupid questions. Don't be afraid to sound stupid. Just say it, just ask. And once you ask, guess what? You know the answer. So you're not like guessing through half of the way if it's right or wrong. So
yeah, good point. I think that's because I do push that up on my daughter. So Macy's 8 now, and my little one's almost 2. I tell Macy, I'm like, listen, you raise your hand and you keep asking until you understand it. Simple. It's that simple. I really think I tell them that. I think why people are afraid of that is because they're afraid of failure or looking stupid, right? Like that word failure is so. Words are powerful.
There's a stigma attached to it.
Yeah, there's a stigma attached to failure. But that word is just, even me saying it, I'm like, failure. You're like, failure.
All
failure.
caps.
Yeah, like, man, listen, that's the way you learn.
Yeah.
Like literally, okay, you get it wrong. Okay, now I got it right.
Yeah.
I've always seen that since I was a kid, man. Thankfully, it's like failure to me, it's not failure. It's just I'm learning.
You're not scared of it.
And everybody's become popular now, thankfully. But failure to me is not failure. It's just like I learned it. That's the one way not to do it.
Yeah.
But there's so much pressure now to like, especially with social media, like failure is, people are going to think I'm stupid or not. It's going to be caught on camera or it's going to be like a whole thing. And failures has such pressure to it. But if only way you can get good at something is if you fail, So I was you can never be afraid of failure, never be afraid of not sounding, like super smart, because that's the way you learn. That's the way you get smart, But I feel there's such pressure to now just be perfect. And it's so sad, because we're limiting ourselves just by our own fear.
100%.
So that's.
Yeah.
No, that's a great topic. So in education, 100%, and especially in sports, you might get bombed or something and only the people at the game saw it. But now if you make a mistake or something happen, you get juked or someone hurdles you, now like essentially if it goes viral, the whole world can see it.
Yeah.
But athletes get so scared of that they end up crippling themselves. And like Blue was saying, you end up sucking more by being scared to take any initiative, by being scared to go for it. You know what I'm saying? So guys, don't be scared to make mistakes, whether it's in education and asking that quote unquote dumb question, or on the field or on the court. Just go for it. Give it 100%. As cliche as it sounds, give it 100%, and then learn from those mistakes, or like that F word failure. Learn from those failures, and then before you know it, from freshman year to senior year, if you don't make the same mistake twice, you would be surprised how much you can improve in 4 years.
Man.
Like just don't make the same mistake twice. That's my only challenge to you as an athlete. Don't make the same mistake twice. And you'd be astonished by how much you can improve,
100%.
But it goes back to what you said about Killian. If you don't have a good system, so now we're talking about like the other end of it. So if a coach isn't a good coach or there isn't a good system, some kids can just float around and make the same mistake in 4 years and not really improve.
It's usually what happens.
You know? Yeah, man. Like, so let me get your take on that. So how was the coaching? Because you went to a public school as well.
Yeah.
How was the coaching, in your opinion, at Killian?
Yeah, at first it was similar to that. Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
Start over. So it was similar to that. It was kind of like people would just make errors and then the coaches kind of expected them to figure it out instead of being a coach. And
They're
tell them, hey,
teenagers.
they're teenagers. It's so hard to really know what you're doing and how to fix it when you're young. It's so hard to really, I mean, there's few people that could do that, and the ones that do, you could see the change.
Special ones,
there's special ones. But if you could have a coach or somebody that could tell you what you're doing wrong, and then not only that, but then how to fix it, and how to do it the right way, man, it goes a long way. So yeah, that system at first, it was very much just like, all right, you suck. All right, you suck over there.
Whatever.
Right,
Yeah.
Well, how are you gonna, fix him? How is he gonna be better? So that, at first it was like that, but then kind of when the culture changed, when Coach Rowe came around, man, the whole
It was
thing.
a
Even
night and
like,
day, I bet.
night and day, man. Even like the weightlifting, because it was more like, all right, you guys go lift between 4 and 5, and there wasn't one coach over there. One
Same. We weren't getting
Like,
supervised at all.
What are we working out today? Oh, I got to figure out. Man, I don't know nothing about
Not
this.
only
Man, I just
that,
started.
And look, we're both trainers. You know what they would do at South Miami? We had the same workout every week.
Yeah.
Like, you know as much as I do, a good program, if you do the same thing, you're going to plateau. If you do the same thing, you're not going to improve. Even if you're doing the best you can in those lifts, you're going to plateau.
You're going to plateau.
Our bodies are amazing, guys. Our bodies can adjust to anything. So if you don't change things up to a certain extent, your performance will just stay like this. As far as lifting, not on the field, but those are things you don't learn until you get older, and then you educate yourself and you're like, what were we doing? And then because you're a teenager, like you said, we didn't have that structure. So you trust the system.
Yeah.
But the system was trash. It was trash, know? So that's part of the reason why we exist. That's why this podcast exists. So you can see that we went through similar stories, like, so if you're at a school and you see that things are kind of floating around, there's no structure, you can contact Just Move Training. You can contact 31 Vision, and you can figure out what's the right play or what's the right move. Because nowadays there's no excuse. We have our phones, and I'm sure you're easily reachable. I'm easily reachable, so it's, just speak up, guys. Like Blue said, ask that dumb question.
Yeah.
You'll never have to ask it again.
There'll never be a coach or a mentor that it's waiting for you to go up to him. So
that's a great point.
You got to go get them. You got to go get them when they're expected. I've had plenty of people that just like, hey, Manny. I'm like, oh man, there you are. Okay, boom, let's talk.
Right.
But I'm not like, all right, let me look for a student. Let me look, hey, over there. Hey, come over here. No, you got to go and approach them, because listen, you can save so much time by approaching to somebody like yourself. Hey, man, let me pick at your brain. And you could go from picking up your experience of 15 or however long you've been doing it in a matter of a few months. Take advantage of that, man. Like all day, I'm always picking at people's brain, because if I could get, 30 years of experience into a matter of a day or two.
Yeah. I'm taking notes, baby. I'm there.
Brother, I ask everybody, man. You'd be surprised. I go into Uber, and if it's an old guy, hey, man, what would you recommend for a guy that's 35 years old? What would you tell yourself? Oh, family's number one, or buy a house, whatever it is. And I'm just, all right, cool. And you make your own decision, at the end of the day. That's one thing that I've recently learned, probably within the last 5 years or so, is to work on personal development. That is huge. It's like after college, young children, after college, it kind of stops. Yeah. You could just get to work. Yep. And then like
the rat race.
Most people get stuck with a certain pay, certain salary, and then wondering why is John making 200,000? I'm only making 60. What the hell was he doing? Well, he's more valuable to where you work at. So you got to make yourself more valuable, and then you will get more value.
That makes 100% sense.
So a lot of people are kind of stuck in that position of the same rat race and same feelings and same habits, and you're never going to change. You got to make yourself more valuable.
And some people have it a little backwards. Exactly that. 100%. So they think that when I get paid more, then I'll become more. No, that's not how it works. You have to put in the work. You have to educate yourself. So then when that blessing comes, you're ready for it. So something that I personally love, I'm sure you do too, is when a client or a random person asks me like a fitness question or a body question. If I don't know, I'm like, all right, I gotta read up on it.
Failure.
Yeah.
A failure. You learn, damn, I failed.
Because I hate not being able to give someone an answer right away about something.
Me too.
But I also like it. I was like, all right, now the next person that asks me that, I'm gonna be ready.
100%.
And then I applied that to, it's crazy to say, in January is gonna be 6 years that I've been doing this. So now someone asked me a question now, Lulu from year 1, that's a lot of I don't knows, but Lulu from year 6, I don't know everything, but I know a little something,
Mhm.
you know? And then you'd be surprised, guys, in business, especially if you represent yourself like Manny and myself, a question or two, a couple I don't knows might deter somebody from working with you.
Mm.
So if you blow their mind and you're like, hey, why is my knee hurting? And you're like, oh, look, it could be because of ABC 1, 2, 3. Then they're like, damn, I got to hire Manny.
Mhm.
Manny just addressed a problem that I've had for years with my knee, and he just addressed it in 30 seconds. Me personally, I'm hiring you.
100%.
You know, so first impressions, guys, are so crucial, man.
Yeah.
So crucial. And everyone is so scared, like Blue said, to act like they don't know, like to act like they know, even if they don't know. Don't worry about it. Just ask that question. If you don't know, educate yourself. You got these things right here. There's no excuse.
Man,
There's none, you know,
yeah.
especially with the body. Correct me if I'm wrong. A lot of myths have been busted since we were training in high school. Don't bend over. You know, you get more air like this. That's been busted.
Yeah.
You actually scientifically get more air, you know, like bending over, you get more air a certain way. Or like Squat University. I love that guy. He was saying that for years, the guy that invented rice, which is like, if you don't know what that is, like let's say you sprain an ankle, you put your foot up, you ice it, whatever, 15 minutes on, 15 minutes off. The guy that invented that in 2013 said, hey, I was wrong. That's not the best way. And so this day, that is still a way that you treat iced, like messed up ankles.
Rest, ice, compress, elevate.
What about the most important meal of the day is breakfast?
Now fasting is huge. Now everybody's fasting.
You know what I mean?
So things with the body, or even not the body, just whatever you're talking about, as information continues to flow into the world, it's on you to educate yourself and stay up with it. It's not just lawyers and doctors that have to do it. It's all of us, you know? Even with Jason, with production, I'm sure, Jason, you learn things all the time about your craft, right? So like you can always educate yourself.
You can always better your best.
It's the best way to put it right there.
There's no perfection.
Yep.
You always better your best. So you always got to stay on the grind, man. I always stay ready. As I was young, man, stay ready because the opportunity arises. That's the definition of luck, right? Everybody says there's one opportunity meets preparation.
Yep.
You got to stay ready, man, because there's opportunities. I promise you, whoever's listening, you've had many opportunities, but you just weren't ready. So you didn't see it.
It passed you by.
You didn't see it. So if you're not ready, man, it's going to blow right past you. And they're, man, I'll never get lucky. No, it's you're just not ready.
Let me add something there. So something that happens to people, let me throw up my camera real quick. Something that happens to people is somebody might be working next to you, the same job, 5 years, 6 years, the same team, 5, 6 years, the same, and they show up to training with you, they show up to everything with, they show up to the meetings or they do the job with you, and then an opportunity comes, and then you know twice what they know. Or you have twice the preparation they have, and they're like, and you get the job, you get the position. They're like, how'd that happen? Because what they don't know is after they left, you stayed. After they went home, you didn't go home. You went to valet training, or you went to Toastmasters and learn how to talk, or you know how to present yourself better.
Yep.
Or people only know what they see. But when you're doing your preparation in silence, they don't know that part.
Yeah.
And it's what you're saying is 100% true. You have to prepare yourself. If you have a goal and it's something you want to do, prepare yourself because a lot of times people run around chasing opportunities, but they're not ready. And that's twofold. And I'm gonna
Tranquilo.
Look, there's another one there.
We're going deep.
Yeah.
So not just the preparation of the physical, not just the preparation of your craft, but also the preparation of your character. Because as somebody told me, this is not my quote, somebody told me this a long time ago and it stuck to me. Your skills will open doors into rooms that your character won't allow you to remain in.
Wow.
I'm not saying, hey, look at me. Somebody told me that. Your skills will open doors or will let you into rooms or will let you into positions that your character won't allow you to remain in.
In other words, be charming. You have to charm people. Sometimes personality gets you a long way in life.
Yeah.
I have, I've been very grateful that my personality has gotten me. And I'm like, how am I even here right now? Like, I'm not even qualified to be in this room. But somehow I'm here. And you know what, it's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice is one. Always treat people with like respect and be charming. Yeah. Sometimes you may know it all, but don't act like you know it all. Yeah, you know? Absolutely. And if you're the smartest person in the room, then you're in the wrong room. So always remember that.
Absolutely. Great advice. Love that.
I like the last part, which if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room.
You're in the wrong room.
Yeah.
And I think that could be for two reasons. I think number one, you might just be the dumbest and nobody wants to let you know. You are in the wrong room, and you are in the wrong room. And number two, you might actually be in a room with people that you don't belong in. That's pretty cool, though. You know, there's something. So I used to be very crazy about poker. And I'll stop playing poker.
I know where you're going with that.
Years
you
ago.
Find the fish. You are the fish.
You are the fish.
I don't want to say that out loud.
No, but you're right. Yeah, that's it. No, you're 100%. You know, so guys, stop being fishes.
Yeah, seriously, man.
I always try to be the weakest link, man. Like as much as I value myself, I want to be in rooms and be at gatherings of people that are super educated, super successful. Like you said, I ask a million questions, man. Like I want you to tell me, can you please like throttle it down? Like just stop picking at me.
Let me go back to this point.
But you know what's interesting? They never do.
Yeah.
Like they appreciate like you asking, you taking that initiation to ask and like learn because they see themselves in you sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So like, don't be scared to ask like your professors or a coach. If you have a coach that has a great resume or a coach that was very successful, pick his or her brain. Like they're there. Take advantage of it. I don't know if this ever happened to you, but I've had like a carousel of coaches and I regret I had only like one or two coaches that played D1 or in the NFL. And a couple of them are only there for one season. If I would have known that I was only going to have them for one season, I would have sat those coaches down, coach, with a notepad. Hey, what do you think about this? I took it for granted that I was going to have them for 4 years. So if you have a really good coach, please take advantage of them because coaching, just like any other career, if a better opportunity comes by, you're going to take it. Look at Deion Sanders going to Colorado. Yeah. He's getting judged for going to Colorado. He got a better job offer. He put JSU on the map. Yeah. You know, a historically black college, that's a small college. They've never gotten a 5-star recruit. His accolades, he put that place on the map. They got like millions of dollars from ESPN to be like their games aired. Yeah. That's without Deion. That's one coach. One coach has that power. Powerful. You know what I'm saying? So if you're at JSU, I bet some of those players at JSU that had Deion Sanders for 1 year, they're like, damn, he's gone. That's it. He's gone. We had him. He's gone. Yep. So take advantage of your coaches, guys. Like learn, man. Learn. You know, don't be scared to ask that dumb. I'm going to say it like 7 times. Don't be scared to ask that dumb question.
Don't be scared. And keep saying it. Maybe embedded in their head, man, for real. Going back into, before we move on.
Oh, tranquilo.
Going back into, we were talking about that most people got it backwards. And it's not just in, what were we talking about that? We're specifically saying that. What was that in
getting more pay? They wanted to get more pay.
Valuable as a person. Yeah. Where it works with everything in life, not just that. And we get that all the time I guarantee you get this all the time. I just don't have energy.
Yeah.
I just don't got energy.
The excuses.
So you're waiting for you to get energy for you to work out. You got it backwards. You don't have energy because you don't work out. You're not financially stable because you're not because you're not educated in the finances. You don't get a lot of money and then you become financially educated. You become financially educated and then you become wealthy. So everything that most people have that they're like lacking or they're hurting on is probably somewhere in there. You got it backwards
in their process.
So you got to think about that, man. You're lacking energy because you're not working out. You're not financially independent because you're not financially educated. That's simple, man. It's
that simple.
Think about
and
it the other way.
For future entrepreneurs out there, don't have your money in one place. Like I say, like as Lulu, right? Trainer, right? But he has his clothing. He has the podcast. Yep. He has online training. Yeah. You know, people don't get rich off of
one thing.
Let's say $1 million check, right? Because $1 million check is hard, but maybe you get 10, 100K checks. You know, all of a sudden that's a lot more manageable. Yeah. You know, so always keep on growing. Don't think of how your business and the multiple outreaches that you can do with your business.
I wanna add something to that. So my wife and I, we manage social medias for different companies, different businesses. And a couple of times already, we've had people that come and say, look, we want to be exclusive. We're going to pay you this amount. And we go, no, we don't want that. It's like, but anyway, it's a lot of money. I know. Yeah. But I'd rather get $1,000 from 100 people than get 100,000 from one person or even 200,000 from that some person. Because what happens is if the way I run my business, the businesses are kind of like, they're my clients, but they're kind of like my employees. What I mean is I can fire them. Yep. I can't fire one person that's paying. So
it'll cripple you.
If I got 10 clients, if for some reason the relationship is not there, hey, you know what? We stop working with that client. Right. So I never, like what she was saying, but the same with clients. I never like to have all of my net coming from one. I just don't like that model.
That'll make me nervous. Yeah.
I'll be worried the entire time. Like, man, are they liking what I'm doing? Am I doing it right?
Because you're no longer a business owner. You're an employee now.
You're an employee.
Even if you're subcontracted,
right.
You're no longer. You got one client. You're an employee. You know.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man.
And that also made me think of something too, guys. When you're trying to learn for your sport, or even in life in general, but right now I'm talking about sports. For football, for example, there are a million ways to score a touchdown. There are a million ways to cover somebody. Don't get all your information from one person, because you might ask two coaches the same question and they might give you two answers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so don't just base everything off of one opinion or one thing, because sometimes the way that coach was taught something, it may not necessarily be wrong, but sports, like life, everything develops. Everything has an organic growth. So sometimes, like Blue has told me examples of, like in tennis, there are certain ways to do something, and then she got another coach, and the coach is like, hey, no, the swing is off. And she's like, this is what I was taught for years. What do you mean it's off?
Mm-hmm.
So I can apply to a baseball swing, to a throwing motion in football. For example, in football, everyone was taught to throw up top like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then now there's a million quarterbacks throwing sidearm.
All over the place.
You know, things develop. Like, I don't know if you can relate, Blue, to tennis.
Oh my God. When I was growing up, it was a very classic serve, you know, of those of you, you know, that know tennis. And it was until recently that it became okay to not be so old school with a certain serve until you met certain important contact points throughout. And that was huge, because I could not serve with my feet together for the life of me. But people were like, no, that's how you have to do it. And then going down and feet together, I could not, I looked like two left feet. And then now I saw, like, you know, maybe like 2006, 2007, like starting athletes, like, that's a funky serve, you know, but somehow it's working. So you can't tell me that that's not the way to do it. And then Roger Federer came out. He doesn't move his feet. So I told my coach, if he is number one and he doesn't move his feet, I'm not going to move my feet.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so all of a sudden, just new information comes along and you're like, wow, man, like there's so many ways to do something. As long as you get certain things right, it was the right motion. But so many coaches are stuck in their ways.
Stuck.
And if you look at the Serena Williams movie, King Richard, he was right about a lot of footwork that's now used.
He was correcting the other coach. The coach was like renowned, and he was correcting him.
Right. And that's not saying that it was wrong, but you're talking about maybe the ball of maximum speed was maybe like 80 miles an hour. Versus now, you know, that ball's moving.
Mm-hmm.
The average women's serve is, you know, close to 100. You know, the average man serve is 120. A rally point, you know, can reach 80, which before, like, you know, 80 miles an hour was huge. Now that's, you know, like
average
14, 15-year-olds can get that speed going, you know?
The best thing I can compare that to in football is now that before the linemen, the linebackers, the guys that were like kind of stocky, or the really huge guys, they weren't moving that well. Bro, now some of those guys are running 4.5s.
Faster than us.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, and these guys were like 200 something, 300 pounds. So things take their natural growth, you know, like with more information comes more performance, and you got to get with the times. No matter how old you are or how young you are, you got to understand that things don't stay the same. If you don't move, you die. You know, it's just the tail, you know, that's just how it is.
And now information is so easy.
Just move, baby. Just move, baby. There you go. What were you saying, Blue?
And now information is so easy, because it's gonna make me sound a little older or old, but you know, now YouTube, right? You can look it up. I had to like order a CD, you know, have it get to my house, play it, you know, rewind and go. Yeah. And now it's just like YouTube and how to improve your serve, how to improve this. But now you had to like, you go to these like weird websites that before website design was not as nice as it is now.
Nowhere near.
Yeah, and you had to, you know, wait for the CD to come, and it was like a whole thing. And so it's you have information at like your fingertips.
Oh my God.
So
before, knowledge used to be power. That was like the thing that was very scarce. You could say it was hard to find. You had to go and search for it in a library.
Or pay an arm and a leg for one person that had it.
Right. So I mean, now the actual power is action. You have all this information right in your fingertips. You literally can learn anything right there.
Yep.
So it's really the actions what's power right now. So I mean, guys, take action. Stop, you know, learning. It's like buying a book or buying the weights and just have them in your house. You're not putting them to use. It's useless.
It's irrelevant. Yeah. No, that's a great point. So as an athlete, what do you think, whether it's in high school or college, what do you think took you to the next level? Like, what made you rise above? Like, what made you different? What do you think?
My discipline. I think my discipline is what separated me from a lot of people. And I mean, even when I was in college during the weekends, I was the only one in the gym. maybe my roommate with Mario. Do you ever meet Mario? He played flag down here too.
Maybe I probably know him by face.
He's a cop for the city now, but he still plays. But he was my roommate. Funny enough, he was my roommate over there. So it was either with him, discipline. I think is what's going to separate you. It's literally the secret to success is doing things when you don't want to do them.
Yep.
When you have something to get to, who cares, man? That goal doesn't care about your feelings.
No,
you don't care how tired you are, man. They really don't. So you got to get up and just do it. And that result's going to come no matter what. It's like a law. You can't. It's one of those laws of the universe, man.
Yeah.
There's two sides to a coin always, right? The yin and the yang.
It's
put in the work and you get the result.
Yeah, it's kind of like what Jason was saying. Like, just because I only see you at practice and we're battling to play safety, right? But I don't see him working out after, or I don't see you watching more film. All I see is like, damn, why did Manny beat me out for this spot? But Manny's studying film. Manny's putting in extra time. And that's what a lot of younger athletes don't understand. They see someone succeed, they write it off as, oh, it's because they're really cool with the coach. Well, sometimes you're right, but it's either they're really cool with the coach or, oh no, like they write off their successes as luck. And then when you succeed, it's because of your skill and you're so good.
Right.
But real life is somewhere in the middle there. It's because that person put in a lot more work that you're not seeing, like Jason was saying,
You know something that happened to me a couple years ago? I was riding a lot of bike. Like I was riding
motorcycles?
No, bicycle. Like, so I was cycling like 2 hours a day. I was cycling like 50, 60 miles a day.
Oof.
And I was lean and look, you see me chunky. I was lean and ripped. So people at work would be like, man, you got good genetics.
Oh man, that happens all the time.
I have good genetics. Wow,
that's
good
work.
Genetics. Yeah. I eat a cake and it's gonna be right here. It's like, right. But like, it's a way to minimize, and it happens to me, and I'm pretty sure it happens to you guys
all the time
in every field. Like for example, production. When I produce something, the first thing people that I know where people are coming from. They ask sort of questions because I've been going through that my whole life. When they go like, "What camera you use?" Like, you
can have the same camera. The production will look the same.
I made it. I made the thing. You know what I mean? But I think it's super. Going back to what you were saying, that was like a side note. I think it's about discipline. I think it's super important. Man, we're living in an age where feelings are taking a place that they shouldn't have. The level of importance.
Yep.
And people are always talking about listen to your feelings. Your feelings should. And you know what? You shouldn't listen to your feelings. You should listen to your plan.
Yeah.
When you sit down and you write a plan, that's what you got to listen to, because feelings always come after the actions. Feelings are reaction. Yeah. You know, why do you feel cold? Because you turn off the AC. You know what I mean? Why do you feel hot? Because you're out in the sun. Like feeling is always a reaction of you encountering or
it's a result of the experience.
It's always a result. Mm-hmm. Feeling is never the start. So if you expect to feel before you do, it's never going to happen. Yeah. So you have to do before you feel. Action. And the only way to do that, as you were saying, taking action, is when you build a plan. Like, I don't care if you put it on your phone, you put it on paper. Some people don't have to, like, most of us have to write it down. Mm-hmm. But like, kind of tying in what you were saying, it doesn't, like, because some people tell you, like, we project our experiences on everyone. So some people tell you, if you don't write it down, it's not a plan. Well, if it's working, look, if you have a plan, if you have the sort of mind where you can make a plan in your mind and you're not going to forget it,
by all means,
no problem. You know what I mean? Most of us have to write it down.
Yeah.
But when you write it down, whether it is that you wrote it down in your mind, you have that type of memory, or you wrote it down on paper, now it became a plan.
Yeah.
You know? But you have to follow that plan, man. Forget your feelings. Your
just
feelings
move.
will never take you. Just move.
You know, I don't know how many people tell me, I don't like working out. Do you think I like working out? Yeah. Do you think I enjoy being sore or like sweating? No, I don't. I do
like the results,
but I do like looking nice when I go out or nice in a bikini. 100%. You know, I don't like working. Nobody likes working out. You know, you tell me it's leg day.
We get to choose our suck.
Like I always have a face. Much. Yeah, but just do it. You know, and I feel like when you have a goal,
Nike's got a great
slogan. Yeah, just do it. And I feel like when you have a goal, you need to prepare your life around that goal. Not like that needs to be your main focus, and everything else trickles around it. And a lot of people don't do that. You know, I at one point, I wanted to do something, with tennis. My health got in the way, but I had like the skill. I was homeschooled for high school. I don't have a lot of like these like prom dances or these fun experiences. I remember, leaving school or after homeschool, my life was my
Tennis.
sport.
Practice.
I had a goal. Like I was like a horse. Like I have my mindset. I don't care if I don't have any friends. I don't care if I don't get that sort of experience. I don't care if I don't have sleepovers. Like I did not care. Like my goal was something, and that was it. And if you don't have that drive, remember, there's always somebody working 10 times harder than you. It's like a golden apple, right? It's there on the mountain. There's 10 million people trying to get to that same goal, and if you don't do it, somebody else will. And you don't understand, like, it is a lonely road to the top, because the higher you get, the less oxygen you have, and the less people are going to want to be there with you. And that is a drive that I feel like this generation does not have.
It don't.
And just because the door closes the first time, it is not the end of the road.
Right.
You have to like want it so hard, like you have to breathe it, you have to eat it. And
it has to be like low key an obsession.
And
almost.
it is.
100%.
It is.
Yeah.
Bro, if you ask, I mean, I probably don't even remember now, but Tropical Park or time Miami, like they would have to do like, hey, we have to turn off the lights. Like,
one more.
And I was like, no, but I have to.
I gotta get this served down.
Yeah, and part of why I was so good, I became obsessed with it. Like I would
Obsession's real.
I'd be like, no, I'm gonna do it again. And even I started football just because I wanted to just have like a cool moment with him.
Yeah.
I would tell him like, no, do it again.
Yeah.
I'll do it again. Do it one more time. Do it one more time.
I believe
do it one more
it.
time.
Yeah,
Do it one more time.
Yeah,
And I would be like, this is a long drive. But I would get it right. And until I got it right, I'll be like, well, if I got it right one time, I can do it again. And that was something that my coach said to me, one of my very first coaches, if you can do something one time, you can do it a second time.
That's the power.
So I always say,
sports.
if I get it right one time, that's it. I did it. I just have to repeat it. It's doable. So you have to really be obsessed. It is like an obsession.
Yes, you gotta love it. You gotta become obsessed with it.
You have to love it. Yeah. Tennis to me is like my first love. So
I know you could tell. I could tell that. I've seen the pictures of you playing, and man, she's a stud. And I've seen the videos. Shoo. I wouldn't want to be standing in front of that sort of man. I tried one time, and somebody, I was like, it doesn't look like it's coming fast on TV. That's I can imagine, like just somebody.
She enjoys destroying me in tennis.
Yeah, hell yeah. Hey,
I will say though, the ball looks a lot faster from the outside.
Yeah.
Than like when you actually playing. Because I've been playing and I'm in the moment, and then I look at the ball and I'm like, oh shit, that looks pretty fast. I mean,
that's okay.
Okay.
We're on YouTube.
You know what? I disagree with you. I think that what happens is you're training, your eyes get faster.
Yep.
But I stand in front of, look, because my dad my dad, he likes tennis and he serves and he's not even a quarter of what you do. And I'm like,
yeah.
So no, like
you train the
eye is obviously catching a fast, but
to you slow, but to
because
us,
any athlete, bro, like even football, when you watch the NFL game on your that guy should have. Man, when you're there, it sounds like there's buffalo running on that.
Car crash.
Bro, it's like, you would have what?
Right.
I would have. You would have what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's like my dad. I'm like, because I'm like, you're sitting with a beer belly on the couch. Be quiet. Be quiet.
on the bleachers.
So going back to what Jason was saying about your feelings and that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So a lot of times people don't understand, or going back to the character thing, if you can't control your emotions, I didn't learn this till I got to college. When I started checking my emotions was if you let your emotions run rapid, I used to have like anger issues. Like I had textbook daddy issues. I came from a single mother home and I didn't, when you're in something, you can't be aware of what you're going through. But when you look back at it, you're like, oh, those are textbook daddy issues, So anyways, so I was very angry all the time. I was very mad. I was fighting all the time, and all it took was one wrong word and I was snapping.
I remember that.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
I remember when you were young.
Yeah, bro. So if you do that in front of the wrong coach or in front of the wrong people when you're in that proverbial room, you just squandered your opportunity. All because of your emotions, and your emotions are just a fraction of you. Like if you were level-headed in that moment, you're showing your true self. But if you're very emotional or acting irrationally, you're showing, quote unquote, the ugly side of you. Maybe like I don't know if that's the right way to put it, but if someone doesn't know you and that's the only impression they get of you, you look bad in that one moment. So one thing I would say, everybody, like if you're trying to win that position, and if you show a coach that you can't control your emotions, especially in football, if you can't control your emotions, you don't have emotional intelligence to understand how to compartmentalize and like work towards a common goal, I'll bench you myself. 100%. If I was a coach, even if someone is a little lesser than the talented person, if I see that this person is getting flags all the time and doing things to hurt the team, I'm going to put the guy that's not as talented, but he keeps his emotions in check.
You know what you're going to get out of him. Here's something for you. Thoughts are the language of the mind. Emotions are the language of the body. So listen to that. Wow. It's just your body talking to you. That's all it is. And if you could learn exactly how you did, or you could learn how to use those emotions towards something and put it into action, they'll understand there's no bad or good emotions, believe it or not. It's just what we make of them.
Yeah.
There's people that are like, oh, I'm nervous. Man, I'm so nervous.
Means you care.
Brother, you're excited.
Yeah.
You're excited. That's what I always tell myself every time. You ain't just getting on here. I was a little nervous.
Yeah.
I'm excited because I get to talk to you. I get to talk to kids in the possible future. So it's really excitement. I see it as excitement, not nervousness.
Do you have any pre-game rituals?
Everybody does.
Hell yeah.
Everybody does. You have to.
Something I learned about this that is magical. I did learn how to get to my peak state, where is understanding how you could get your brain to focus on the future goal, and it gives you a roadmap to the future. So visualizing the game, right? Visualizing the hits, visualizing the plays that you've been watching. And man, it was like that. It would slow down a lot of times. You're like, damn, I just saw, there's no way they're running this play. Bam! And you're like there to make the play. Yeah. It's just studying. But visualizing yourself getting into peak state, I'm sure just like you would before a game, I do that now every day in life.
Nice.
That really changed my life. It was, why was I only doing that during games? Why am I not doing this every day when I wake up?
Yeah.
So that's the first thing I do every single day. I wake up, I have my little breakfast, I do my little thing, and then I start getting into my zone. Now, it would take me, 20, 30 minutes to get into that. Yeah. Now it takes me 5-10 minutes to get into a peak state of just being ready, alert, remember things. So it's like, why not doing that? Be at your best so all your thoughts and your ideas come right away.
Babe, did you have a pregame ritual? I've never asked you this.
Yeah, I would listen to I'll listen to reggae actually. Yeah. Like I wanted, because I was always like, I was always so hopped up. So I had to mellow out. I was like, bro, calm down. We still have hours to the game. And you're like, You're like, so I would listen to, because even though I was the smallest guy in the field, like I used every ounce of my weight. Like I had no regard for my well-being, and I was gonna hurt you. Like on the field, I was trying to like murder you. So I was like pacing in the locker room, like, so I had to like, all right, breathe it out. I'll listen to reggae and I would still be cranked up. I'm like, all right, I can breathe now. And then like 10, 15 minutes before the game, I started playing like anything else, like hip hop or like anything else. And I'm like, all right, it's go time. I don't even think I'm blinking at this point. I'm like, just hopped up. So yeah, I definitely had a ritual. Going back to rituals too, what you were saying, I read a book called Mind Gym. I don't know if you ever heard of it. It's a little old. What they were saying in the book was, I don't know if it was Ronaldo or Messi. They were using really good examples of like top athletes. What some of them would do, exactly what you said, was they'd lay down, they'd put a towel over their eyes, and they would visualize themselves having the perfect goal, making the perfect passes, crossing the ball perfectly. Yeah. So if you do that before a game, you're setting yourself up for success, because what happens, like going back to the nerves, when you're nervous, you're like, oh my God, what if I miss this tackle? What if I miss this play? No, what if nothing? Visualize yourself making those plays. And then, like you said, they're running the play.
You're prepared.
Yeah, they're running the play exactly what I saw, and then you make those plays, and then you'd be surprised, guys, how influential the beginning of a game is for the rest of your game. If you start off like, you might get on fire. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like momentum is a real thing,
Zone, man. That zone is real.
Yeah. And then like you said, like that mental zone, the game slows down even more. Because when adrenaline pumps, guys, like for example, like that happens to you too, I'm sure. You watch, like you're in the game and the ball's like
slow. You see the rotations.
You see the ball later. The play later is like, play's done. And you're like, that's not how it felt for me. For me, it felt like I had time to think. I'm looking at the ball, make that tackle. So adrenaline is a real thing. So
I want to interject right there, because it's so important. And this is going to be 100% bro science, okay?
Bro science, baby. Bro science, baby.
All right, this is 100% bro science. But think about it. We're designed to run from what? From lions, from tigers, from the weather, stuff's trying to kill you, right?
Right.
What happens when you work out? There's nothing trying to kill you. So there's no adrenaline. Yep. So right now we feel bad. We don't want to do it because we're missing a component.
Counterintuitive, yeah.
We're missing a component, Yeah. So I'm not saying this is going to work I'm not saying this is it, right? And I'm not saying it's the same as a lion chasing you, nothing like that. But if you start visualizing what would happen if you don't work out, like if you start looking at yourself fat, or if you start looking at like if you're gonna be depressed, you're gonna like if you start thinking about all the bad things that will happen if you don't do the thing.
Yeah,
it helps you because look, so it happens to. There's something called the continuum of irresponsibility, and then it becomes a continuum of criminality. And this does come from research.
Yeah, tell me about that.
Not mine, but psychiatrists have studied this. The difference between people that have a criminal behavior and irresponsible behavior is something called deterrence. Okay. It's the same thinking errors of a person that's irresponsible to a person that's criminal, but the amount of deterrence. So for example, someone that's irresponsible, they won't pay the bills. They'll run the red light. They'll do stuff. Well, you can go to jail for that. But like they'll do stuff like they'll park without paying the parking ticket or the parking app, the meter.
Lulu.
But then, because there's no deterrence for that for them. Like a person that's responsible has a lot of deterrence. What's a deterrent? You visualize what the outcome.
Consequences.
So it's like you're gonna park and like you park 5 blocks away, but you're gonna run back because you don't want $100, $200 ticket. You have it in your head. The person that's irresponsible, like tomorrow's gonna, who cares? I'm not. This is today, right? But the irresponsible person won't take it to the criminal level. In other words, someone that's irresponsible only, it has the same error of thinking is that they don't have the deterrent of the bill, the budget. You know what I mean? Which is a person that has those deterrents. That's why they won't get tickets, or they won't overspend on the dinner or the bar because they have a budget in their head.
Right.
But the person that's just irresponsible, they won't do something like they won't drink and drive because they're just irresponsible. They won't take it to the criminal. Right. You know what I mean? They won't hit somebody over the head with a bat. But it's the same thinking errors. No deterrent. So the criminal person, the thug, whatever, you said something to me out of the way, and I don't think that, I hit you over the head, you can fall and die. There's no deterrence.
It's just reaction.
Yep.
There's just reaction, no deterrence. So what happens is when you don't have deterrence, it's something that deters you from not taking an action or from taking an action. So if you start practicing creating your own deterrence, hey, if I don't go to run, this is gonna happen. If I don't sit down and write this 50 essays or whatever, this is gonna happen. And you start because it'll create that fear that you need to go.
That sense of urgency.
That sense of urgency. And something happened to me in my 20s. I had a problem with anger. I had a big problem with anger. So I would get into this road rages, situations.
Typical Miami.
Bro, listen, bro.
There's a lot of chances to get road rages here.
Listen, dude, I had a little Honda Civic. That car was like a nightmare movie. Like a horror movie. Bro, I used to throw my car at people.
Oh, shit.
Throw my car at people. Like, you cut me off on the road, I'm going to throw this car at you. It's a 1990 Honda Civic with 400,000 miles.
I don't care.
And I did it a few times, and I think about it, and I was like, what was I thinking of?
Yeah.
So something that I had to do when I realized it was a problem, I sat down and I did do that. I don't know where, it's years ago, so I don't know somebody told me this years ago. And I started thinking about, okay, what's going to happen today? Okay, I'm going to get on the road. Somebody's going to cut me off, and I'm not going to do anything about it. And I started like thinking about it, visualizing, thinking about it. Okay, I'm gonna go on the road. And what am I gonna do? I'm just gonna back up. And little by little, I started being able to overcome that. Just preparing my mind to when I realized how dumb it was, what I was doing. And you know what? Now you cut me off. You know what I do? I just kind of slow it down a little bit, give you
let you do your thing. Yeah,
give you the space. Or like if I see somebody that's, how people move aggressive. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I see you moving aggressive, I'm going to move out the way.
Just let them be.
I'm going to move out the way. I do not want any. And it's like thinking, like remembering now how it was, like, wow, it really changed. So it's really powerful, man. When you sit down and you visualize. It's really
and also
powerful.
To circle back to what you guys said about emotion. Sometimes it is great when you get off to a great start and you hit the court, you hit the field and you're hot. Sometimes it's not like that.
Yep.
Sometimes
slow starts are real.
Sometimes you are like, what is going on with me? Like, I'm referring to tennis. It's what I know. Sometimes,
of course,
a little bit out, the ball's out. You could have won the point. And sometimes in tennis, the worst thing you can lose against yourself because the ball's just going out or in the net. The girl's not even beating you. You're just messing up. Yeah. And you get into this rhythm, and it's sometimes emotion. I in the beginning when I was young, I was, at the end of this is I would get angry and I would throw rackets. I was young. I was maybe like, 9, 10 years old. I was a little, and that would throw me off my game. As I got older, now when that would happen to other people, and I was like, oh, this girl's getting mad. So I got to a point like, I'm not even playing really much strategy. I'm just trying to get you upset, And when you get out of that rhythm, it's so hard to get in it. So control your emotions. It is a really real thing. Like once you see, at least in tennis, when you see a girl lose it, that's it.
Blood in the water.
It's gone.
The art of war.
If you, and at this point, you're just trying to get the ball maybe just 4 or 5 times across, and she's just gonna get so mad. And I've seen people lose it. And so always keep your emotions in check. If something's not going right, which is something that my coach has taught me, is do a checklist. So it's okay. Is my backhand working? Is my forehand working? Okay. Forehand cross course not working, so I'm gonna do down that line. Okay, spin's not working, I'm gonna do flat. High ball's not working, I'm gonna do short. Short ball's not working, I'm gonna do high. Like you really start doing a checklist, something will work eventually. And you just have to do like 1 or 2 good points or 1 or 2 good shots to get back into rhythm. But you have to be cool, calm, and collected. Something that with flag football that I find so funny is that there's so much shit talking.
So much,
from tennis being quiet to
in tennis,
football being loud.
You're used to like not talking. You do something wrong, you get a player warning. So I'm used to just really concerning my emotions. People be like, oh, blah, 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 blah. And you're like, oh, okay.
I'm like so quiet. And
I'll just be like, and it doesn't affect me. Like you cannot. Your emotions can be such a big barrier whether you win or lose. Because once you're angry, you're not thinking. And that happens with you're angry with anything, whether it's a game, whether it's personal life. Once you are angry, your thoughts are not clear.
None.
So, and I'm saying you can maybe get angry of like, I'm going to win, but be focused. But once you're just angry if things aren't going your way,
that's different.
You really have to just take like a breather. I don't know if you've noticed before when we play, but my ritual when things aren't going my way or just before is like, I take a deep breath, like, everything that has happened beyond this point, it doesn't matter. The moment I clap my hands, everything will be reset and I will start this game or this match all over again. And I clap my hands and that's it. Like whatever it is, I had to like let go. Sometimes you just have to like let go of all of the bad in tennis. Bro, Serena is the comeback queen of third sets. She will lose the first set and you will think you got it. She comes back and it's just like
different person.
I want to add some to it. So she was talking about anger and how anger is your enemy. Usually, not all the time, but usually anger is a result of fear. So you're afraid and you wanna be able to overcome your fear, so you get angry. And usually anger is the result of fear, but then there's a little self-talk. So you're afraid, like you talk to me a certain way, you looked at me, and now you start, oh yeah, he doesn't respect you. And now you made
your own dialogue.
But listen, something that's very important, guys, all right, very important. Fear is fuel. So if you like, usually when you're afraid, I forget they call it fight. I think it's fight or flight. The
fight or flight.
Yeah. So usually when you're afraid, you can freeze up or you can spring to action. If you learn how to operate in fear, you become so powerful, because what happens is, as we were talking about the lions and the tigers, when you're afraid, you're very sharp. When you're afraid, your mind
everything's heightened.
Yes. Yeah. But when you're angry, you're not.
Yep.
So like, if you learn how to operate in fear, you become powerful. But if you wanna, in other words, be comfortable in the fear. That's
be comfortable being uncomfortable.
It's good. Yeah, but being afraid, it's a good position to be at, especially when you're doing something physical. To be super sharp.
What you said earlier, you're talking about how your reactions to things, and that old expression, life is 10%, what happens to you, and 90% how you react to it. That is so true in life. Going back to yours about the sports, to me was probably the most impactful thing that ever happened to me, that in martial arts, because it shows through, adversity, how you could, because sports is very similar to life. It's strangely enough, I recently kind of discovered this, and seeing all those mistakes that you made, learn, repetition will get you there.
How to work well with others.
How to work with others, and especially in team sports. I know it's a little different with tennis. But how you react to things, I think, is ultimately how you determines your outcome of everything.
Yep.
Having a DB mindset like that. When I learned that early in my high school year, that's why in college, hey, you get beat. All right, cool. Next
short-term memory.
Next play, short-term memory. I mean, literally, you tell me, oh, you got beat. I was like, what? When? Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, this game is meant to be.
You can't dwell on your mistakes.
And also, it's not forgetting, forgetting what happened, yes, but not why it happened. So you can't just be like, oh, I suck because I'm sucking because I'm slow today because I suck. No. Why am I missing?
Not constructive.
Am I bending my knees? Am I making contact in front? Is it behind me? Okay, so if I'm making contact behind me, that means I'm slow. I have to prepare faster. I'm standing too much, bend low my knees. Is my toss right? Why am I missing? Try to figure out, because if you just completely like break down your own self-esteem, you're not gonna get anywhere. So it's forget, that it happened, but don't forget why it happened.
Right.
So
that's experience right there.
Yeah, that goes back to thinking objectively or just emotionally letting your thoughts run wild. There's a big difference between, like one and the other. Like, for example, in high school, that same coach that was only there 1 year, Coach Baker, man, an amazing coach, man. He played for the Chiefs, and before that, he played D1 ball. Great coach. He related a lot to me. Like, he sat me down. He's like, "Hey, man, like you're flying off the panhandle. Like you're erratic. You're unpredictable. Like you're like this and you're like that." And I'm sitting there like, "Yeah, you're right." So he told me, "Listen, I'll never forget this." And I had it when I used to have a wallet. I don't have a wallet anymore, but when I used to have a wallet, he slid me the Serenity Prayer. There's a reason why it's on my chest. He slid me the Serenity Prayer. If you don't know what it is, guys, look into it later. But pretty much he told me and I lived close to the high school, and this changed my life. He goes, every time you want to fight somebody, every time, like I was getting in trouble with school, I almost got expelled, like I was doing bad. And he goes, every time you feel like that and you can't control yourself, read this over and over again. If this prayer does not get you there, jump that fence, bring your cleats with you, and run until you forgot what you were mad about. And let me tell you, South Miami Field, man,
I remember that.
There, I would jump the fence and I would run sprints in the dark, just running like 50-yard like wind sprints, or like sometimes gassers. Just you'd be surprised how much you can run when you're pissed off and angry. I was just running, and I'll be exhausted. I don't know how much time went by, but it gives me goosebumps just thinking about it, because that was what Jason was saying, like channeling your anger, living in that fear, but accepting the emotions, not like resisting it, because I was resisting a lot. But at some point in that midst of running, I became acceptance of emotions, and I started using it in some kind of way where it was productive, and that elevated my game.
Yes, sir. So I was telling you earlier, like there is no good or bad emotions. It's what you make of it. You took that anger and you put it towards something good.
Unleashed
so it was a good emotion or was bad? It was
controlled chaos is a powerful thing.
Ooh, man.
Yeah, man. And little by little, bro, I got better and better at accepting and controlling. And then like you said, martial arts, man. We haven't really touched that in any episode. But I did karate for 7 years. From 6 to 13 until she let me play football. My mom too. She didn't let me play football either. We didn't talk about that. She was like, you're my baby. You're not gonna do that. Whatever. And karate helped me a lot with, besides defending yourself, controlling your emotions, like understanding, like thinking, like what Blue was saying, thinking objectively, not letting your emotions be like, oh my God, he did this, but being like, all right, what did this person do? How am I gonna react? How am I gonna da-da-da? And when your adrenaline starts pumping, like that fight or flight, I'm not proud of this, but every time I had to fight, I was not screaming. I was not like someone's trying to put harm to me. And I was always like, I looked weird. Like my friends told me like, you look like a robot. Like I never once screamed. I was never like, oh my God, But martial arts, I would suggest parents, martial arts helped me control my emotions. I don't know how you feel about martial arts.
I love it, man. It's the best thing I've ever did. Even on top of sports, both of them, I think they're right there neck and neck. The best thing I ever did. It was definitely, it gave me, a confidence, and it's a confidence because I'm sure you've heard this, that there's Jordan Peterson has said this recently. It's like it's be a dangerous man, and then that person is usually the calmest person that you see. Usually I've talked to Blue about it. People that are the ones that are chaotic and reacting to things. Usually the weakest person in the room is the loudest person in the room. So that's why it definitely gave me a calmness to myself and a confidence that I think confidence is everything. Confidence, you don't even have to be smart. You don't have to be the smartest person. I guarantee you, and this is to everybody, there's somebody out there doing something you want to do that is less qualified than you are just because they had the guts to do it.
That's it.
It's confidence, man.
Something I will say personally, Andy touched on it in episode 2, which was your business will continue to demand things of you. And if you don't meet those demands, like we went back to, where you're going to plateau. So if you continue to meet those demands, you're going to grow in different ways that you didn't know you needed. You know, so if you keep answering those things, you look back and you're like, man, I didn't know ish this many years ago, but I continue to meet that demand. You know what I'm saying? So going back to that, that's 100% true, man.
Yes, sir. Dude, circling back around, because you asked me what separated me. That was the last question, and we somehow went into an awesome conversation. You asked me what separates me. I think, not really thinking about it, it wasn't just discipline. I think I take a serious seriousness to everything that I do, including playing flag football. Everybody says, oh, flag football, you think about it, right? It's like flag football is just a recreational thing we did, but you see that there's a seriousness to it, especially when it gets to the higher level ones. So I think everything I do with a certain seriousness to it. You know, not like life or death, but I'm gonna go all in. Like, I don't believe in trying. Like, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it and see if it's for me. If it's not, all right, cool, I did it. I didn't like it. Instead of like, nah, I tried it. Well, did you try this? Nah, I didn't try that. Well, why not? Give that a shot. Try it out. See if you like it.
It's not being the best, it's trying your best.
Trying your best, correct.
I see that a lot because I train young athletes year round. Besides the being scared of looking bad thing, a lot of young athletes are scared of looking bad while trying. So a cop out, a constant cop out, and I make them run for it. What, like they're like, oh no, but I wasn't trying that play. If you don't take that weak-ish out of here, oh, I wasn't trying that play. You got beat, bro. You got beat. That's it. Stop. Oh no, I wasn't trying, or I was looking over here. No, you're just scared to try and still fail. Just go for it. Just go. Yeah. You know, like so many young athletes get crippled by these phones and by looking bad. Just go for it. That's competition, it fine-tunes you. It makes you sharper. But if you are so scared of doing stuff and you're like, oh, I just wasn't trying, your whole life will pass by you with that way of thinking.
Regret is going to set in, and that's way more painful. Yeah, way more painful, man. I mean, look, 20 years later, I'm still talking about a little Buffalo, man. Yeah. I mean, really think about that.
It stays with you.
The pain of regret is way heavier than the pain of this.
I have friends right now. I agree with you. I have friends right now that they had a girlfriend and they didn't want to go. And ask me how many are still with that girlfriend?
Oh, no.
Zero. So you're sacrificing for this girl that giving you this ultimatum. You know what I told my ex? Because I was dating somebody at the time when I was going to high school. I was like, this is what I'm doing. I didn't say it aggressively. I didn't ask, hey, babe, what do you want me to do? You got me effed up.
Right.
I am going to do this. Do you want to do a long-term relationship? I didn't ask her, it's not your decision. This is my decision. It's your life, I'm going to go to Ohio. Yeah, it's cold. So I don't care. I was miserable. Guys, I was miserable when I went to school in Ohio. Single mother home. I missed the hell out of my mom. I missed my girlfriend at the time. My friends. Like when you went to Cali, like it's a big culture shock. A lot of people don't talk about that. It's a big adjustment for you, but you got to do it. Just go for it. If that person really loves you, they'll stick with you.
You'll know.
And if they're trying to tear you down and be like, oh, if you go, I'm out. Leave them.
I just think it comes back down to people are afraid to lose things. And that's in our human nature. But you can't be afraid. I mean, I know it sounds corny, but if something's meant to be with you, it will come back to you. And I feel like people, they're just scared to lose their boyfriend, scared to lose their girlfriend. But if he leaves, he finds someone new. If you can't live with ifs, go. Like, live that dream. And if we're meant to be, we will be meant to be.
It'll work itself out.
Yeah, you know, like right now he can tell me like, babe, I got, chance to open up a gym in Japan. I'll be like,
shit. We'll make this work. We'll figure it out.
I'm only gonna visit you like maybe like once every couple of weeks because that's an expensive trip. But you go for it, and someone that doesn't support you because they're afraid of losing you. That's not somebody. You want somebody that on the country that will push you. Like if you tell me right now, Japan, which go for it. I know it's scary because it's all the way. You're gonna have to learn Chinese, but go for it. And we will find each other along the way. We'll figure it out.
We'll make this work.
Instead, always look for someone that wants to compromise instead of just flat out denying you.
I would like to add something to that. And it's super important, especially for kids that are in high school, college, they're starting to make their adult or almost adult decisions, If you're with a girlfriend, boyfriend, in high school, college, and they don't want you to follow your passion or dream because it's cold, where you're going to the college you're going, especially college, usually it's the big change, those relationships. It's gonna be, you're gonna be too far away from me. I don't like this. I don't like being in the country. Think about this, guys. So the person doesn't want you to follow your dream, because it affects them in some way or not. And it's very important to know this. The girl or the guy can be in love with you. I'm not saying that they're a bad person. They can love you, you know? It's just that they're also looking out for their interests. But listen to this. That same person will do that for you or to you the rest of your life. So when you want a car, no, you can't get the car you want because they don't like it. When you want a house, no, you can't get the house you want because they don't like it. When you want a job, do you want to live your life like that? Because that person, this is a pattern. And don't think it's just going to be, well, because this is what most people do this. Okay, well, I'll just sacrifice for college for her and then everything's going to be
oh my God,
beautiful.
that's
no,
so true.
It's going to be on the next decision, you're going to fight again. On the next decision, you're going to fight again. So if the person doesn't want you to follow your dreams, and once again, they're not a bad person. They love you. You love them.
It's a natural instinct.
It's life is telling you, look, you love each other. You can continue to love each other, but you're no longer, your life has evolved and her or his life has evolved in a place where you guys are now going to have to separate and it's going to happen. And keep loving. Hey, I love you. You know, we'll see, but you're going to have to cut that relationship. You just got to do it.
I recently sent him a quote. And it's a quote said by Tyler Perry.
Oh, that was a great video.
And it's, some people are only meant to be in your life for a season.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you want them to be lifelong, but that's just not meant, you know, their path. Because some people are not equipped to handle the attitudes of which you're going to go to. Mm-hmm. You know, and he said something about, you know, a rocket, before it goes into space, after a while,
it's red pieces.
It releases the boosters.
It releases the boosters and you fly up. So some people are always meant to be in your life, but just remember, is this part of my book or just part of this chapter?
Yeah.
Oof.
You know, and that chapter can influence you and it can change you, but that's it. It was just a chapter, you know? And I feel like sometimes people are just so stuck on making things work. And sometimes it just doesn't work and it's okay. You know, that doesn't mean that we don't love each other. It doesn't mean that what we didn't have was good memories. It just means it's just it. We have reached our end of the chapter, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Well said.
So Manny.
Yes, sir.
So if you can travel in time and talk to your younger self, what would be like one or two pieces of advice you would give yourself besides going to Buffalo?
Definitely would have said that. I would say main thing that sticks out is don't let other people's opinions of you make your decisions. I think ultimately, similar to what we were just talking about, people really, when they're telling you something, it's a mirror. It's they don't see themselves doing what you're about to do because they don't see that them putting in that effort. Like you going to college, but I guarantee how many people, oh, that's so hard, man.
I barely got good feedback.
With everything that I've done in my life, being part of the police force, part of the special response team, all that I've done. I mean, college, moving out of town to California. So many people were like, hey, that's going to be hard, man. It's so hard. Why are you going to do that? Those have been the best decisions I've ever made. Going through those struggles or going through those, those learning processes that I learned. And those are the best. So I wish I would learn that a lot earlier in my life. If I would have learned that, I think I would have done a lot more, even though I was able to learn it pretty quickly, like in my mid-20s, that I started noticing that like every time I wanted to do something, it was like, but that's so hard. Man, go do this. Why don't you? Hey, man, I really didn't ask you. I'm telling you I'm about to go do this. Like, hold up. Like, why are you pulling me back?
Yeah.
So that would be one thing, is don't let other people's opinions of you determine the choice that you make ultimately. I think that's very important. If you could really see that, it's them not seeing themselves go through what you're about to go through.
It's powerful.
Learn that. Next one would be, let me think of a good one here, because there's so many.
Right. It's hard to narrow it down.
Yeah, there's so many. Be careful with your words. Mind your words. Don't say you can't. You could do anything you want.
Like your internal voice?
Internal voice is powerful. It really is. We have a conscious mind. We have a subconscious mind. Whatever you're telling yourself, your subconscious mind, which is your body, it's going to prove it to you. You say you can't. You can't. You're not going to. You can do anything you want. So just really, really believe. Always say you can. I'm going to. Always see the positive in everything, because there is a positive in everything, even death. Yeah. There's a positive in that.
Wow. You
got to find it. I promise you. It's always seeing the glass half full instead of half empty. So really just focusing on that. I think that's a powerful one there too. Just watch words, man. It's called spelling. It's a spell. Your body's going to prove it to you. I promise you it's going to do it. So just believe in yourself. Mind your words. Mind what you say, because your body and your thoughts, like if you were saying, like you visualize.
Yeah.
if you visualize or you keep thinking about the past, in the past, you're going to keep having the same predictable future.
It's going to haunt you.
You're going to keep living in the past. So if you start visualizing the future, it creates a map towards your future. So visualize the future, and then your body's going to be like, oh, okay. And usually it's better than when you think of when you get there. I guarantee you when you started 31 Visions 6 years ago, you didn't see this.
No.
I guarantee you didn't.
No.
Because it's always better than when we think about.
Yeah.
But think about it, because it ultimately gives you that roadmap to get to.
Wow.
Oh, I got one more before.
Ooh, let's go.
I got one more because this is a big one. Having goals. Goals is huge. I wish I would have. I guarantee you 90 or not 100% of the people listening to us right now, they don't have a goals list. And I'm not saying to focus on the goal too much, because ultimately it's not about the goal per se or what you obtain or what you gain, getting the trophy or, getting that job. Is the person you become in the process of obtaining that goal.
Chase.
But having a goal is key because it gives you a roadmap. It's like we talked about earlier. It's like getting in a car and not having a destination. Where are you going? I don't know. I'm just driving.
Yeah.
But if you have a goal, it gives you a nice, structure, where to go, where to aim. Okay, that didn't work. All right, boom, move that. Oh, that didn't work. All right, boom. All right, learn that. All right, boom. And then you become this more valuable person. And then, all right, you might have not gotten that goal, but you became a more valuable person and other opportunities will arise tremendously. I promise you. And then some of the lessons that you've learned through that process is going to come into another opportunity.
And you don't notice that until after the fact.
Exactly. Until
That's
right
the cool
here,
part.
man. Exactly where we are right now. Even the way I'm speaking to you, I learned that through other jobs and other things that I did in my life that didn't work. But I'm here with you now.
Wow.
And it's working. So yeah, man. Always self-development is key, guys. Work on yourselves because you become a more valuable person. And I guarantee you're going to have so many opportunities in your life that you're never going to have unless you do it. You got to put in the work.
Nice, bro. That was great.
Anything you could tell me? I want to learn, man. I'm always ears. What's some things you've learned?
I can say
2 things.
I would say not to always trust just because you're younger. Like, don't just trust the guardians or the adults around you. Because I'm about to be 31 years old. I don't know ish. I'm trying to figure myself out. I'm trying to figure so many things out. Just because someone has been given a job with shitty pay, might I add, to be your coach, it doesn't mean they know everything. Right. So just because you're younger and they're older, it doesn't mean they have your best interest at heart. And it doesn't mean that they know everything that they claim to know. So just do your research. I would say do your due diligence and look into that topic and see if they really know what they're talking about. Because I trusted these people and they were all wrong. Not all, like majority of them.
Sure.
And second one, that internal voice you were saying, I was always doubting myself. I was always my hardest critic. And it's okay to chase perfection or chase excellence, but understand that, like messing up or it's okay, and don't forget to have fun, man. Like football, because of certain coaches, they took the love of it away from me because I was always battling coaches. Like I wasn't able to just play. Like they were always trying to change the way I played. They were always trying to change the way I was. Some coaches were telling me like, stop talking ish to the other team or stop. The last school I was at, this coach had it in for me so much that he was telling me to dress differently. Like, why do you have different color cleats on? I'm like, get off my, you know what I'm saying? Like, what are you talking about how I'm dressing? What do you mean? So like, there's people that are going to like be very negative with you. And it messed with me. It did. I'm not gonna sit here and act like, oh, it didn't phase me. It did. Yeah, of course. Imagine before a game, you're trying to do something and he's commenting on how you're talking, how you're like, oh, stop cursing, or how you're talking to your teammates, how I'm dressing. Leave me alone, bro. Like, so definitely just stay in your zone, stay positive, no matter how much, like how you were saying, like that negativity around you. Just have that tunnel vision towards what you need to do.
That's an everyday thing, by the way. That's never gonna end.
No,
you're always gonna learn, man. You're trying to, like you're saying, that feeling you got of just trying to figure it out. It's never going to stop, man. That's why you constantly got to just educate yourself and just constantly work on it because it's never ending. Never ending. No. And that mirror, that was that coach. I promise you. Go look him up right now.
He got fired.
You see?
He got fired.
Of him. He was just an angry person.
Hate that guy. He got fired, bro.
Probably was having issues at home, having some other stuff. And then he just like, oh man, this guy's good. He looks great. Probably better looking than him. You know how he was. I guarantee you that. So he's like, let me pick on this guy unconsciously. And that was all done unconsciously. That's great advice, man. Great advice.
Also, thank you for asking me too. No one's ever asked me, Thank you.
Also, this too shall pass is always one that I do. For some of you probably don't know this, but before 15, I had gone to 3 heart surgeries. Wow. And that is, I feel like that's what I matured a lot, mostly because, I think for my parents, I matured a lot because I saw them go through. Imagine, it's hard to see your daughter go through and I'm here trying to be, I'm fine. Mom turns around, I tell her, just like, so much pain, like please help me, so and this too shall pass. You know, you feel like shit. You life sucks right now. You're getting bullied at school. This too shall pass. But also remember, you feeling great, top of the world. That too shall pass. So always remember, just keep on grinding. You know, tough moments, good moments, it all passes. You know, life is a roller coaster. Don't be stuck. You saw this for me, but don't drown in a cup of water. You know, just always remember, just keep on moving. How you
deal with it, yeah.
You can't be still. You know, the earth is constantly rotating. We are constantly moving. Do not stand still. Even if life sucks, keep on moving.
Where's the plug?
Nice. Yeah, right.
Just move.
Just move, baby.
That's literally my concept behind that. Motion creates emotion. You know, that's how we get into my peak state. Bouncing, running around, getting into my zone. And that created an emotion of me wanting to play. Even on the days that I didn't want to play. Yeah. That's a good one. Yeah.
And also set goals like that you think are crazy. Like literally set goals that you think are unattainable. Like for 10 years from now. Even if you don't get it 10 years from now, when I'm 25 now, I'm gonna set goals when I'm 35.
Yes.
And I have them in mind. If I don't get it at 35, well, I'm gonna set goals when I'm 45. But that gives me something to keep on chasing.
Strive for,
and also,
you know, you always have to keep on chasing and keep on moving.
Yes, falling short of a crazy astronomical good goal will fall short. Yeah. That might be better than the goal you were gonna 100%. Set for yourself, that realistic goal.
Aim for the moon. If you fall short, you'll be in the stars. Yeah. That's that expression.
Like look at one of the most influential people in the world. Look at Elon Musk. Look at Steve Jobs. Did you really think that they from a garage would have imagined Apple, or Elon Musk would have thought when he was a kid that he was gonna land? He's making people be like, "You're crazy! You're not gonna land on Mars." He's doing it.
He's making it happen.
And look, one thing there, right? So being realistic with that, because a lot of people talk about very like Elon Musk and Steve Jobs and all these very influential and powerful people, and it's true that, you know, they might have started from garages, and then people say, yeah, but the dad gave him $1 million.
They're geniuses.
And no, but like, because a lot of people think when they say some of these people started from garages, you know, it's just that they started, like a lot of these people did have an advantage position when they started. A lot of these people did have like $500,000 loan, whatever, right? So people say, oh, when people find out about that, it's like, oh, somebody gave him 10 million. Well, the guy has $1 billion now. Yeah. So like every year.
No, the guy has like 95 billion.
Just giving you. Yeah. No, like, when I say the guys, like in general, any, it's like, so now, not referring to Elon Musk, but now, so like the average American will have every year between $35,000 to $55,000. The average American, okay? Some people more, some people less. Each year you have those, 50,000. What did you do? Next year, how much you have? 50,000 again? Did you have 100,000? Because some of these guys have gotten $1 million. It's like, oh, the dad gave him $1 million. Okay. And out of that $1 million, he made how much?
Right.
500 million?
Right.
So, okay, out of your 50,000, how much did you at least save 1,000? No, right?
Right.
So it's like, so that's super important to understand that, hey man, you don't have that starting point, but you have a starting point.
Yeah.
Sir. What are you doing with what you have? And you know what, to tie into that, some super important, believe in the people around you. What I mean by believe in the people around you is believe in the dreams of the people around you. Don't project your failures on people, man. Because I remember, when you were in high school, playing football in high school, then playing football in college, a lot of people in the family, we don't come from an athletic
background.
Yeah, so he's chasing a pipe dream. So what? Like, it's not your pipe dream. Let him chase it. What? It's like, oh, why he's not? He should be doing. Why? Why he should be doing? What is he doing? Is it out is he shooting in the street? Is he selling drugs? Let him chase. And I always remember. I don't know if you remember. I always told you, listen, man. Because you used to tell me, hey, I want to do this. I don't know. I was like, do it. Like, yeah. I used to, I'm older. So like, don't be 25 or 30 and I should have. Try it. Whatever you want to do, try it. If it works, awesome. If it didn't work, you did it. You went for it. And now, like, life's not over. So the same thing now. The reason is that's very important is because when I've been doing the production and this podcast for a while now, but when I started doing it for like other people, I thought about his nonprofit or whatever. And I reached out. I was like, you want to do this? It's like, yeah, sure. And I was like, yo, we're going to do it. No cost, whatever. Because I believe in you. He's like, no, but no, listen, man, I believe in you. And I tell him he's brought some people here and he brings people here that has expanded my networking.
Right.
But that was never the goal. Mm-hmm. The goal was I believe in what he's doing. And this is incredible because what's happened to me is I've had people like that know me or that know my family, that are lawyers, or have these businesses or whatever. And I reach out to them to manage their social because like somebody's doing a bad job for them and they haven't believed or they didn't like, they're not looking at, because I'm not saying believe me without proof. Like I'm showing that, look, this is the evidence of what we do. It's like,
right.
No, because in their mind, I can't be, you have to be whatever in their, like whatever messed up thing they have going on in their mind.
You have to fit their dialogue.
You have to fit that you can't be successful, whatever they have going on. So this is what happens. So like my wife and I were managing now 10 and we're growing 10 accounts with this different business social media.
Let's go.
Some of those people have circled back.
Yeah, I'm sorry. The price went up. You came back around.
No, like, and some of those people.
Yesterday's price.
It's not today's. And some of those people I was trying to. Some of those people are trying to do it for free. Some of those people are trying to do it for free. No, but at the beginning.
Oh, okay.
It's just to build the resume.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Right.
So some of those people have circled back. Like, hey, what are you? Hey, how are you? Everything's good. See, yeah, this is how much
we
we charge
booming.
now.
Like,
Yeah, we booming now.
It's not the price you gave me yesterday.
I was like, that's how much we charge now. It's like if you want to be part of it. And it even happened with our client. We started with a group of clients and we've been doing it we're going on our almost 4 years now. But on our second year, I was always afraid of raising prices. But then I started looking into like how to grow the business and then I don't know who I heard say that. I think it was Gary Vee, but I don't remember who it was that I heard say this. And he was saying, would you rather have the 5 or 6 clients that you have or have 2 clients that can cover that and then you can get another 3 or 4 clients, Yeah, so I let all my clients know, hey, in 2 months we're raising the prices.
Right.
And we lost about 2 or 3 of them.
Right.
But the 2, it's incredible. The 2 that remained, not only did we increase the price, they actually wanted more services. So like their prices,
they covered it.
No, we increased it and they doubled the
value.
The value, not just the value. The services we were providing for them, they wanted more services.
Oh, yeah.
So our income from them even like doubled.
Nice.
So it's super important to, but first do it yourself. Believe in the people around you to have a dream.
Absolutely.
And second, if people don't believe in you, get out of there.
Yeah.
The heck out of it.
Simple.
And for young kids,
Simple.
be comfortable in your skin. Like don't be afraid you have to fit like the popular mold. Like I was never the popular girl. Okay. I had lunch like by myself, mostly or like in like a little corner, or outside, but I never changed who I was. Like I am a major nerd. Like I'm a super sci-fi nerd. I was always quirky. I was never like the popular girl or the this and that. But it's okay because it was me, and I liked who I was. So at the end of the day, it's those individual people that break the mold. Like I say, like look at Bad Bunny, right? Like he changed like the music industry. Mm-hmm. He was like the opposite of whatever was going. Now mold. Everybody wants to be Bad Bunny, but guess what? There's only one Bad Bunny, so everybody else is just replicas. Yeah. So don't be afraid to just be that lone wolf because eventually, like your pack, like does come along. But be you, be okay in your weirdness, in your quirkiness, in your nerdiness. It's okay. It's okay to not fit like the cool mode or the popular girl mode or the hot girl mode. It's okay, bro. It's okay. Mm-hmm. It's okay. I'd rather have a couple good friends that know me for me and I love you for me than like a whole
stop pretending to be something.
And two good friends are more valuable than like
100 fake ones. 2 million ones on Instagram that are not really.
Yeah, like 100%. For sure. Small circles are always better.
Yes,
for sure.
Well, all right, guys. Everyone gave their 2 cents, man. Everyone had amazing things to say. I appreciate you guys for chiming in. Manny, thank you for coming, bro.
Oh, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure, man.
Guys, make sure to subscribe, like, and share. We have 0 advertising. Just share. If you learn something, share it. You know what I'm saying? If you can, clip a little part, send it to a friend. Anybody in the high school demographic, listen and learn from our mistakes and our successes and apply it to your life, man. That's what everything is about with 31 Vision Podcast. All right. So thank you for tuning in. See you later.